Four hosts, they bout to wreck shit like Marco. Addicted to the Giants like it's Netflix and Narcos. The CEO making big moves as per usual. Captain Negative calling everybody delusional. This podcast is number one. Like when you take a piss, so share the link and pass it. Like big Jamaican splits and Mr. Make-A-Wish. The sophisticated click. I spit offensive lines, now Tim can take a sip of some beer because he likes the taste of it, right? Don't forget the New York Giants beat the Patriots twice. The sickest dudes eating chips and salsa like it's Victor Cruz. Win or lose, always gonna root for Big Blue. It's true, this a classic show. Tyree, catch it, bro. Play a drinking game while you listen and call it classic. So take a couple shots. If it's funny, you can rewind to Bleed Blue. Means it's in their jeans like Levi's. Eli, man in the shit, just like a sailor. Captain, we attacking bum rush like Lawrence Taylor. Podcast on point, the sharp as arrows. BBG, stay gritty like Mark Bavaro.
Hello, everyone. What is going on? Can I be heard through the microphone? James, can you hear me? James can't hear me, I don't think. Always interesting, always something different. Hold on, peeps. Let me figure this out.
How about that?
It would be nice.
It would be nice if everyone could hear
think
it. I think
it's funny
calling into my own show.
Look at that. Look at that.
Hey, sometimes you got to get creative.
Sometimes you have to pull the creative card.
You got to do it.
Are we back up, people? Let me see. I can hear you. What happened? I can't hear you. Fill me
in, gentlemen.
Can you hear us
or can you not?
We hear you now. Okay, we're good to go.
We're good to go.
Good.
So let's see. Lots to talk about,
right?
I've been following everyone in the comments. They are actually sick and tired of the quarterback situation and the constant coverage of the quarterback, so I thought we could focus a little bit on the defensive side of the ball. And I know that you've been looking into. No one likes that. Echo.
Oh, God. Where's the fun in that? This is all the quarterback talk and different quarterbacks and the Russell Wilson and the Josh Rosens and the... Oh, but let's talk defense.
I think I fixed the echo. We'll get to Russell and Rosen and the Eli. Super echo, not just normal echo. Someone's about to leave because of the echo. It should be fixed.
Where they don't like auto-tune? All of a sudden, these millennials, they love auto-tune. And now they don't like auto-tune.
Yeah, I don't know. What's annoying about hearing my voice over and over and over and over and over again?
Yeah, it's a very nice voice.
Yeah, very sexual, if I may say so myself.
So who do they want to talk about? I mean, it's going to be like, I mean, you could pretty much, even if you take the two, let's say, I mean, do you want to do it with Murray off the board? So Murray's off the board at 1, right? Which leaves Bosa, Williams, Allen, White. You're not getting White unless somebody jumps for a quarterback, and then in that case, I think you still don't get White, because I think that they would have to probably jump above the Bucks to do that. The Bucks are going to take White, so then you're looking at possibly one of the other ones of Williams, Allen, and who else did we say?
Burns.
Yeah, Bosa's going to go too, or Burns, or one of those guys. I mean, I'd be happy with anyone. If you're going to talk defensive guys, we're in a position where whoever we pick at 6, we should be thrilled with talent-wise.
Yeah.
As a defensive player. I mean, there's no, unless they blow it completely. I don't think the Giants could even blow this one. If you're going to go defensive player at 6, no matter which way the draft goes, even if we're completely wrong and it's just nothing but defensive players through the first 5 picks, no quarterbacks, you're still walking away with a stud defensive player. So it's more specific to who you want and crossing your fingers, but as a Giant fan, you're going to be happy with the talent we walk away with from the defensive side of the ball at 6, no matter who it is.
Right. So I've been doing a little digging. I like White myself, but I think he's gone.
There's a bunch of guys to like, but yeah, I mean, White's really attractive. He's a good player. He's a really good player.
He reminds me of he's raw though. He reminds me of JPP, like that super athletic freak, but like a little questionable with like knowledge of the game. Not really knowledge of the game, but might get tricked up and make simple mistakes. But sideline to sideline, he is like a hawk.
Just sideline to sideline, and once the NFL level slows down for him, he'll be a difference maker. He's a solid linebacker. He's a leader as well. He'll be whoever he goes, they're going to put him in the middle from day one, and he'll be there for 10 years, wrecking havoc in the middle of somebody's defense. He's a Ray Lewis leader type player, and I think that whoever gets him is going to be a steal. Now you look at the way the draft lines up, and everything points to Tampa Bay, right? I mean, they lost Quan Alexander, and you would think that he's sitting pretty for them at 5. And then the thing for the Giants is I like White, right? But last year, we talked a lot about position cost of value,
right?
And I think that if the Giants, like, White is very attractive as a player, I get it, right? But I honestly think that the bigger upside, I think pass rusher is more valuable. And I think that I see bigger upside from an impact pass rush position from, say, a Montez Sweat or a Brian Burns or one of those guys that you can get after White. So, I don't know. There's so many good players, defensive players in the beginning of that draft. I mean, if I've done mocks where Quentin Williams has dropped to 6. I mean, you run the card to the table. If Quentin Williams is there.
Yeah, sometimes those monster freak guys, sometimes, it doesn't match. Remember Leonard Williams, everyone thought he was going to go to 1. He went like, what was it, 7 to the Jets?
He was 6.
That's a freak.
I think it was 6?
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6.
Like that's a freak that you're getting, like, right there.
I know. I've looked at it a bunch of different ways, and I honestly, like, if they picked Montez Sweat at 6, I can't be disappointed. Like, I've done enough research on the kid to be like, wow, like, man, this kid, he could be a really good football player. He has all the tools to be a wrecking ball for the Giants in the defensive end spot. or from the outside linebacker spot if you took him in the 3-4. And I've seen people say, well, defensive tackle wise, like, some people don't fit or anything like that. Like, I really wouldn't worry about that. I would take the best player on my board, because even if it's a defensive tackle, right? Even if, let's say, it's Ed Oliver, right? Like, all the defensive players go and all those guys are gone, and the Giants picked Ed Oliver, or the Giants picked at 17, they ended up with another defensive tackle that maybe fits better in a 4-3 scheme. Where a lot of what they do in the nickel is 4 defensive linemen, right? So you can conceive they're not going to play a straight up 3-4 all the time. So
no, they're going to move in and out a little bit.
Yeah. So even if you take another defensive tackle, maybe one that doesn't fit, say, the straight up nose guard position, you can still get away with it, because when you go to the nickel package, you can rotate that guy in. So I don't think that you can go wrong at 6 whatsoever. I think the draft is so good defensively that I would be looking to, like I saw today, that who's picking 8? Detroit?
8 is Detroit,
open.
yeah.
Detroit's open to moving back. Like, if I'm the Giants, with all this talk about quarterbacks and interested and not interested, like, if I'm the Giants, I would put out, like, I'd leak it, like, hey, we're open to moving back too.
Yeah, I believe the Bills are at 9, I think, and they seem like, hey, we're cool with moving back too.
I mean, I mean, if you're the Giants, I think you can move back from 6 to 9, 10, somewhere. Well, you're not going. Buffalo's not going to trade up, but you could conceivably move like one of those teams. Like, it's much easier for Miami to move from 13 to 6 than 13 to 2 or 3 or 4. So if Murray does go 1, and let's say the Giants do go Rosen with the 37th pick, right? And you're like, fuck, all right, well, we got Rosen, but that 37th pick, man, wow, we could have got a tackle, or we could have got another nice piece. Like, there's a scenario where Gettleman hopefully his phone's on, and if Haskins or something, if Haskins or somebody, it wants a quarterback or wants a player at 6, you can conceivably move back and end up recouping that pick, right? Recouping the pick. And then you're still walking away. Even if you drop to 13 with 17, you're walking away with 2 really good football players and additional picks behind that in a really deep defensive draft. So we're in a position where we really should be thrilled on draft night no matter what they do.
Yeah. There's also another guy I had my eye on for 17. I think he might be a little undersized. I think White's gone for linebacker wise, right?
You saying Devin Bush?
Yeah. I was watching him play today, man.
Love him.
Maybe I should stop watching just the highlights. I'm like, oh my god, this guy's unbelievable. But
no, you know what you do? What you do is put in their names and then put in film study. Instead of watching highlights, like, put in film study, and you'll get like Matt Waldman and stuff. He does great work. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that really you can. If you can't get the film in the game and watch it yourself, then just the film breakdowns are really good. You get a really good feel for different scenarios, coverage, things like that, where they really put them under the microscope. I liked Bush a lot at 17. And yeah, he is a little undersized, but you know what? Some guys are just football players, and that's the difference between combine guys and film guys, right? Like, if you just looked at Devin Bush and you put him next to some other guys, you would be like,
wow, they got him listed?
Impressive for, like, he's impressive for his size.
5'11", 240.
Yeah, he's like 5'10", 235, 233. I'd be shocked if he's 5, but whatever. When you put his game film on, the guy just knows how to play football. Like, he just knows how to play football. Like, I think that sometimes the measurables are taken a little too much. They're taken too much written in stone, where it's like, oh, these guys, you got to have the measurables. You got to be this height. You got to have this arm length. You got to be all that stuff is helpful, right? But if you don't know what you're doing,
yeah, you're screwed.
Right? I mean, it's useless. So if you don't have all of the physical tools, but mentally you're so sharp and with it that you're making up for some, you still have unbelievable God-given talent, but maybe you don't have the longer arms, or maybe you're not 6'2", or maybe you're not 245 pounds, but your mental acumen puts you in position to read a defense or know what's coming from a formation, or be able to take an angle or see a hole to manipulate that somebody else can't or somebody else wouldn't, to put yourself in a position to make a play. And Bush does those things. He's a really good football player. I would love to walk away from, like, if you told me that we were walking away with Brian Burns and Devin Bush, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, that's an instant upgrade on the defense. And at 17, finding him at like 17, I don't think he's going to go that early. Some people will knock points off because he's, quote unquote undersized, but
I just think he's he's a little undersized, but I don't think it's to the point where, like, he's going in that he's a top 20 pick, man. It's a top 20 pick. He's a top 20 player in the draft. You can argue where between 12 and 20 you want to peg him, but somebody's going to take him there. Somebody's going to not worry about his size and watch what he did on Saturday afternoons, and they're going to take him, and they're going to get him.
Would you do Greedy at 17? I don't think he's going to be there either.
I don't think he'll be there because I think he's the best corner on the board. But yes, I would consider him there. I mean, I think it would be stupid. Here's the thing about the Giants when you look at our roster, especially defensively.
You could take any position.
You could take any position.
Anyone, yeah.
We can use a guy at any position, and don't tell me, do not sit here and tell me like, oh no, we have Dalvin Tomlinson, or we have B.J. Hill, or we have like you need multiple guys. You need 2 defensive ends. You need 3 defensive ends. You need to be able to rotate guys in. You need multiple defensive tackles. You need linebackers that can cover, that can get to the pass rusher. We need safeties, younger safeties that can cover playmakers back there. We have a strong safety. We don't have anybody that can roam the middle of the field and make a play. We don't have a ball hawk, right?
No.
Cornerback, I don't know what Janoris Jenkins is, right? I don't know what any of my other cornerbacks are. I have no clue what Sam Beal is. So, like, I don't think that you can sit here and nitpick from a Giants perspective. You have to look at the board and say, who's the best player?
Yeah.
And you just sort it out, man.
I would hold off on defensive tackle because you could probably find another defensive player at
unless it's
a position of need that might be a little more.
But unless it's Quentin Williams. Right? Like, what if you're sitting
I'm thinking more down. I'm thinking more down the line, like with the 17 pick. But with the with the 6 and the 17, you have to get everyday starters, Pro Bowlers, first round. That's what you're looking for.
What if Oliver falls to 17? What if they took a pass rusher, right? Like, what if they took a pass rusher at 6, or I don't know, think outside the box. Like, let's a tackle. Like, let's say they take a tackle at 6. And let's say that some of these pass rushers we just spoke about, and Bush, and some of these other guys, the linebackers, and Brian Burnses, and all these guys are gone. And the defensive tackle, Oliver, drops. And he's sitting there at 17. Would you take a defensive tackle there?
Yeah. Value's too good there.
I mean, fuck yeah. I would. If you're telling me Oliver drops to 17, like, yeah.
Yeah.
I
when the guy's supposed to go like 3 and he's there,
and I've seen some mocks for some people where he's going in the 12 to 13 range. And here's the other thing is, like, we don't know if these teams are going to panic and who likes Locke and who likes Daniel Jones, and if somebody's going to surprise somebody and take one of these other guys, or if Greedy Williams is going to go in the top 10, or if Hoxton's going to go at 10 or 11, and then some of these other guys like Oliver, and they drop. And then before you know it, one other surprise, and you're like, wow, we're a pick away. This guy's on the board. So you don't know. We have no clue what's going to happen. And that's the exciting part of the draft. And I think that from a Giants perspective, no matter what, like you tackle, wide receiver, I mean, pick a position, any position, the Giants need them.
Yeah, no, I am completely in agreement with you. Let's see what other people are saying.
Like literally the only position, Marco, that I would get upset with in the first round this year. Let's take the positions away that you would be upset.
Defensive,
right?
or
So just total positions, right? Because defensively, to me, like you need a guy at every spot. So defensively, like I'm going for the positions that we're not going to take a guy like punter, kicker, guard, center, running back. 5 positions. Other
punter,
than that,
kicker. Was it punter, kicker, center? You said
punter, kicker, center, guard, running back. Those are 5 positions that you're not going to take anywhere in our first handful of picks, right? You can conceivably make a case that for every other position on the roster, that they can take a player that would be competition or an upgrade at every spot that they got, at every spot that they would need, right? Go through it. If they took a quarterback, you could make a case that that's a solid pick. If they took a wide receiver on the outside, if they really like the guy, I'm not saying I would love it, but if they took a wide receiver at 6 or 17, there's a need for that. There's a need for that on the outside. If they traded back to, let's say they traded back to 10 or 12, or they took Hoxton in that range, I'm very sorry. The people can be like, oh my God, they took a tight end. No, you took a right tackle that can make plays down that can play. You took a right tackle, a left tackle that could play tight end. You took a difference maker. Their position of need. Okay, Ingram I like, but Ingram's a matchup thing. I don't know that he's an all-around, all-pro tight end. Hoxton is an immediate upgrade, position of need. Tackle, you can make a case they need a right tackle. You can make a case that you can make a case that depending on the tackle they walked away with, they're better off putting that kid at left tackle and moving Solder to the right side. You go to the defensive side of the ball, defensive end, they can use another player. Defensive tackle, they can use some more players. Middle linebacker, they can use some more players. Outside linebacker, they can use some more players. Could definitely use some more corners. I don't know what I have in Gibble Peppers. I think I have a good player, but can we have some depth there? And free safety, I got a 36-year-old Bethea. I mean, I don't know. God love him. He may be 31, 32, but he's not the answer. He's a stopgap. So we just went through it, Marco. That's a fucking whole team.
So what happens when you have 5 wins?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I'm saying.
Quarterbacks.
Like I look at these guys. No, I look at these guys saying. I look at these guys saying like I want this guy. I want this guy. Like, oh, you can't take this guy there. Like, bullshit. Like I got yelled at for taking Hoxton at 17 in 2 mock drafts, and I'm sitting here and I'm laughing. I'm like,
who's yelling?
I'm like, are you?
Who's yelling at you for draft picks?
You guys would love Hoxton. Do you know the difference he would make? Like, not even in the passing game for Eli. Do you know the difference he would make in the running game? Do you
think that say the crazy would happen? And they do take him at like 17? It's not so crazy.
I love it. Not so crazy. I don't think he'll be there, but
you think Evan Ingram can be like a everyday wide receiver?
I don't know that he can consistently win on the outside. No, I don't. I think that you could put him in matchups in certain scenarios, like in the red zone, because of his size, and he can win. But consistently, I don't know that you can do that. And 2, I don't know that you would want to do that, because I don't know that for as good as he is, can he stretch the field from the wide receiver spot on the outside of the
Can he stretch a corner rather than
I don't know, or I don't know that that's his game, right? But I think that if you did take Hoxton, I think the NFL is so dynamic that what they do in terms of offensive packages, that I think there's enough snaps to go around. Like, for as much as they use, like, all right, so let's talk about it. They're using Ellison, right? They're using Ellison and Ingram a lot, right? So you're telling me if they used Hoxson and Ingram, that's not an upgrade? Like, I'm not saying that if they took Hoxson, you have to eliminate Ingram from your offense. No, far from it. I think it upgrades Ingram because it takes away the blocking responsibilities, right?
So,
like, it allows Ingram to be Evan Ingram and work on his game.
Right.
And now you can use him in certain formations on the weak side as opposed to having him have to be your strong side tight end. Huge difference. Huge difference.
So the next statement is to Matthew on Facebook, who says, so we're no longer saying taking a QB with the number 6 right now because we had to take Haskins at that pick. So
no, no. Let's. We were told that we're not allowed to talk about quarterbacks tonight, Matthew. So let's. I am all in on if we want to go for some quarterback talk, but we're talking about scenarios where the quarterback is out of the question. I think that if we all had our choice,
this is the assumption that the Rosen thing is going to happen, and that the Giants could go defensive picks for number 1 for their 2 first-round picks.
I got a feeling
getting Rosen opens up the game a whole lot.
Well, April 8th is right around the corner. And for a lot of Giant fans, circle April 8th on your calendar. It has absolutely nothing to do with it.
What is April 8th, James?
Do you know what April 8th is?
I would like April you to fill me in.
You don't know, really?
I really don't know.
I thought you were being sorry. I thought you knew. Okay, so April 8th is the day that the Arizona Cardinals report for their off-season workouts.
Oh, is it?
Yes. So it is going to be very interesting if Josh Rosen reports to the off-season workouts. And the more that this becomes public and the more smoke, because now you saw the recent report where the Arizona was having Bosa in. And then you saw the report that Bosa was a smokescreen. And then you saw the report Arizona retorts and they say, okay, we're not afraid to have Rosen and Murray on our roster. And I think that is that is I think Arizona really needs to move now. I don't. We spoke a couple of weeks ago about how with this whole thing that the closer it got to the draft, and I've seen some reports that say it's not going to happen till draft night, and it can't happen till draft night. And
Peter King reported that.
I don't know that like if you're.
I don't think that works in Arizona's
right
favor
now,
if they do that.
No, I don't think it does at all. I think that especially with the more reports, and God forbid Rosen was to come out right now and be like, I want to get traded. Like, I don't want to come back. Like, if he doesn't show up for off-season workouts by April 8th, like, he was your franchise quarterback. You drafted him 10th last year. He's under contract. He's been paid his guaranteed money. Like, there's no reason for him not to be at the off-season workouts, right? Like, literally none. It's his second year. So if he doesn't show up on April 8th, that is jarring. And teams are going to react to say, whoa.
What's going on here?
Really, yeah. Why? Price
Where's your boy? Where's your boy?
You have to get rid of him. And that's why I think that they the longer it goes, unless one of these teams comes in late and offers a late first-round pick, they're hurting themselves. And I think they're holding out. I think they're waiting for New England. I really do. I think they're waiting for New England because I think New England's gonna set it. New England's gonna basically be the one. If New England doesn't give a first, nobody else is gonna give a first. And New England has the least valuable first. So you can see New England as being like, hey, I got to beat a second-round pick. Take 32 for them. The Giants are going to give you 37 for them. Just take 32 for them. Here's your first-round pick. Take it. It's 5 picks away from where the Giants are going to give you.
I think if it was between that, the 32nd and the 37th, the Giants would most likely sweeten the pot with like a a later 5th round pick that they're just going to piss away anyway.
Yeah, but then you would have to think that, and if that's the case, you think Belichick for that amount is gonna balk, is gonna be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna give up the extra 5th round pick for you, and I'm gonna let the Giants beat me to get my guy. Like, no, Belichick.
Yeah, I think he would, because he has a quarterback set in place.
Yeah, but he also, remember, drafted Garoppolo.
And their 5th is pretty far down.
They pushed Garoppolo out the door, and now it's 2 years later, and they still. I mean, Brady's fucking 40-41. Like, if you're telling me that Rosen is you're getting Rosen for that late of a pick, and you're going to put him behind Brady for a year or two. Remember, how long did Aaron Rodgers sit?
What was it? 3 years? 4 years?
Yeah.
Was it more than that?
It was 3 or 4 years. So if you bring in, if he sees an opportunity to bring him in with no pressure to play him right away, is that worth a first round pick?
The way it looks is bad for Belichick. Oh, we traded for Josh Rosen a 1st and a 5th? People will be like, are you kidding me?
Why? You think anyone in New England questions Belichick?
I do.
He'll no way, man. No way. Trust me. All these players, look at all the guys they let walk this year. No one is panicking in New England. No one. They lost Gronk. Trust me, man. There's some questions as to what are they going to do, but there's a calmness about it. Like, they've been here, how many times have we questioned them before? They'll fix it. Now, maybe they do or maybe they don't.
No, I'm a Belichick guy, but I don't see them giving up multiple picks, including a 1st round pick, even though it's the latest.
I don't put anything past him. I think if he wants the guy that much, he'll go get him. I don't think he'll worry about price. I think it's a question of how much he wants him. Like, how much does he like Josh Rosen? I think if he likes him enough, he'll be willing to pay the price for him. I don't think that if he does, he's not going to bid against himself right now. Like, there's no reason for him to say, like, anything. But there are multiple reports out that he's lurking. And you would have to think that he's going to make a phone call sooner or later. And if he's really that interested, then who knows?
I have a funny suspicion that Haskins is going to wind up going to Tampa Bay, even though everyone tells me no, that Winston's getting all guaranteed money, and he's set, and I just don't see him. I just don't see them, like, really that enthralled with him. And if Haskins is there, I think they could pull the trigger as one of, like, the surprise team that wouldn't have to trade up, and the dude would be literally right there. And then you figure out what you're going to do with him later on.
I don't know. I think one of the great things about this draft coming up is I honestly have no clue what the fuck to expect. I really don't. I don't know.
Yeah, so much is in the air. So much is in the air.
It's not just from the Giants' perspective, like, because I think there's teams lurking.
Yeah.
I think Cincinnati is paying attention to these quarterbacks.
Definitely.
I think Miami's paying attention to these quarterbacks.
Guaranteed.
Right? I mean, so
the Redskins.
and they're within. What did when the Eagles moved up to get Wentz? Where did they shoot up from? Wasn't it like 17 or some shit like that?
Yeah.
When they gave up all of those picks to move up, it wasn't. They weren't like sitting at 5 or 6. Like, they were in the middle of the draft.
No, they were teams. They were definitely teams.
Yeah. Okay, so we've seen teams make that move before.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to pay the price, you can go get the guy you want. Who's the guy you want, and are you willing to pay the price? I think there's teams that are gonna. Jump.
Yeah, I could see teams jumping.
Now, all that can work in our favor. I mean, if somebody jumps to 2, right? Well, let's say Denver jumped to 2 because they want Haskins, right? And then, like, somebody panics, and then Murray and Haskins go 1 and 2, and the next guy is Locke. Like, you can see somebody jump in with the Raiders. Can you imagine that if you're the Giants' perspective? From the Giants' perspective, like if you're sitting there at the Giants and you've decided we're not going to give up anybody, we're going to sit here at 6 and see what happens, and you get on the board and Murray goes 1, somebody trades up and take Haskins 2.
For 2.
Bosa goes.
Why would Bosa go 3? You don't think the Jets would trade back in that position?
Can you imagine if you're the Jets and you had a chance in 2 years to walk away with Darnold and Bosa dropping from
that is true, but you don't think they would? You don't think they would get a complete haul?
I think they would. I think they would entertain it. I think they're open to it, right? But and then the question becomes: does somebody like Locke that much? And if somebody did, the Giants are looking at, even if somebody, you figure that, okay, let's not go crazy here. If we're going to go to the craziest scenario, 3 quarterbacks going in front of the Giants is probably
1, 2, 3, right?
The craziest we're going to get, right? And even that may be a little far-fetched, right? But let's live in a dream, because we lived in a dream the other way without the quarterbacks, and we said there's a possibility Quentin Williams could drop to us, right? So let's talk about if that was to happen. Haskins, Locke, Murray, gone. Guys, I mean, look at the potential of who you could walk away with there. You can walk away with Josh Allen.
Yeah. Chip Marshall said he heard apparently the Lions might be in emergency quarterback mode. Stafford's wife has a brain tumor and doesn't know if he's going to take time off.
Yeah,
there's that. I don't know how valid that is. I don't know.
What an awful story.
Stafford and his family.
I saw that today. Yeah, seriously, that's god awful. What a sin. That's
don't wish that on anyone. I'll tell you that much.
No. Shit, I saw that today. That's sad because they're young, man. Who knows? I didn't even think about that, but that's it's something to think about, right? I mean, they're sitting there at 8. They said today they were thinking about moving back. Maybe, or did I see that yesterday? So over the last 24 hours or so, I thought they were open to moving back. Now maybe this news about Stafford's wife changes that and puts them in play to maybe consider a guy.
In our mock draft that we have done, where we invited other people to,
they took Kyler Murray, right?
He took Kyler Murray. Everyone. This is before all the news. Everyone's blasting. Oh, Kyler Murray's not going to be there. It's like. This is pure speculation. This is just like people guessing. It's not gospel.
Yeah, like we're not writing this in stone. We're not saying that these mock drafts are the Bible. We're just, we're taking guesses based off of what we know, what we think may happen, just like anyone else. And no one is saying that we have the answers, but just have fun with it. Christ. Those mock drafts are so much fun, and then everybody just takes the fun out of it. They're like, he's not going to be there. I'm like, yeah, but if he was there, you would have fucking taken him, right? I mean, right? I mean, he's on the board. You take the guy, right?
The other year that I did it, the guys who nailed the pick right, in the comment section, I was like, there's no way they're going to make this pick. I was like, he fucking got it right. And you guys, blasted him 2 weeks before.
Oh, God.
It was, ridiculous. Oh, let's see. Oh, there's some S in the chat for his wife. That's sad, man.
What was it, a brain tumor or something like that, man?
Yeah, I think it's benign though. I'm not actually sure, so, but it's still real brain surgery that she's gonna need.
Yeah, man. Jesus. I wonder how old she is. She's got to be in her mid-20s, right, or some shit?
Yeah, supposedly she was bringing her kids to dancing school, and she was getting dizzy and vertigo, and that's the whole thing started that way.
They have kids and stuff. Yikes. I've always been a Stafford fan. I wish him nothing but the best. I wish the family nothing but the best. That's sad.
Yeah, but this draft definitely difficult to predict.
Yeah.
Giants should trade Saquon for the 4th and what?
Oh,
I hate
Jesus.
people who. That's from your fanboy, Captain Negative
Jesus.
fanboy right there.
Jesus. No, they should not. I was against taking Saquon Barkley, but let's not go crazy.
Now that we have him, you don't get rid of him.
Oh, God.
Man. So what do you think? I'm a little nervous. I think the Giants. I think this Jones thing might be like legit.
So do I. I'm terrified. I wake up screaming Daniel Jones in the middle of the night. I'm so scared. I'm so scared. I just don't think he's any good. But I'll tell you the truth. He's not the only one that scares me. Like Drew Lock scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Like this draft. I think I'm more scared about this draft than I am excited. I think that if I hear names that aren't Daniel Jones and Locke, I think I'll be so relieved that I'll be okay. Like I think that I'm hoping that the league saves the Giants from themselves, because I think that if let's take quarterbacks off the board and say that Haskins and Murray go in the top 6, the Giants can't fuck up that pick. If Locke and Jones end up going somewhere between 6 and or 7 and 16, the Giants can't take them. So I'm praying that the league saves us from ourselves, because I'm terrified of Locke and Jones and quarterbacks not named Haskins.
Yeah, I am.
I'm horrified.
I don't know. They seem to like him though.
I'm horrified Jones. Because I can't even imagine. Like, for as depressed as I was that they passed on Darnold, I can't imagine of having to swallow.
It's going to go real bad for you, huh?
Daniel Jones. Because to think that I have to, because here's the thing, Eli isn't done yet, right? So it's not even like I can see this piece of shit Daniel Jones and we can run him out of town immediately. It's I have to wait 2 years and watch bad football with Eli Manning, and then go to Daniel Jones. Like pretty much like I'm not going to be 50 until we get another quarterback. Like I don't have a lot of years left. They're fucking around with the wrong guy right now. Like I need a quarterback. I eat way too much cheese to be hanging out here wasting season. Like I need a quarterback. So I don't think Locke or Jones are the guys, man.
I don't care who it is. If it's Locke, if it's Murray, Haskins, Jones.
I do. I
if
care.
If we go anywhere, if we sniff anywhere, 2 and 3, 2 and 4, people will want to stay. It's done. Eli is in a no-win situation. If they draft a quarterback anywhere and we start off remotely poor, they're gonna have his head. They're gonna want to see the young guy. Guaranteed.
Yeah. I want to see the young guy now, and we haven't even started off slow. I'm willing to start off. I think it's better to start off slow with the young guy than to start off hot with Eli Manning, because I just don't think that they have anything close to sustaining where you can conceivably make a case where they can go win a Super Bowl. So all the hot start doing with Eli Manning is wasting time. Like I'd rather go through the difficult time with the young quarterback and get that out of the way and watch a year of this kid progressing, much like a lot of teams did last year with Josh Allen and Rosen and Darnold, where you had to watch, and even Mayfield. It didn't go well for him as soon as he came in. He had struggles at first. But if you have that guy and they're in, and you're watching him play, and you know that that's your guy for the future, I remember watching Eli in his rookie year, and I remember Eli being awful, and I don't remember ever once being down on him. Like I sort of had you sort of have the understanding when it's a rookie quarterback, like I had so last year with Darnold, right, with the opening game where he threw the pick 6 and everybody flipped out, and I said, you know what, that was probably the best thing for him, Like sometimes, like adversity and those guys having to overcome it and getting a brick thrown in your face. Like, go back and watch Eli's rookie year when he played Baltimore. The Ravens.
You know what I was thinking? I think we gave Eli a pass because we saw his brother get like demolished and have horrible years. His first 2 years were miserable as well.
Well, remember Eli was getting ready to get ran out of town before the Super Bowl run. Like everybody wanted Eli gone, and right before he went on that run in the Super Bowl. I mean, up into the middle of that season, was there a game where they played the Vikings that year and he threw like 4 or 5 picks? Like there was, I think the back page said Eli the miserable. So like, let's not act like from the minute he was drafted he was the savior. There were growing pains before we got to that run in 2007, and then we saw a different quarterback from 2007 through 2012, 2013 until, maybe over the last couple of years. But go back and watch that Eli game against the Ravens in 2004 in his rookie season. Like there was a train ride back from Baltimore where Gilbride, or the offensive coordinator, I believe it was Gilbride at the time, had to like sit with him and talk to him because they thought he was shell-shocked. It's one of the worst performances by a quarterback you will ever watch in your life. But as a Giant fan, I wasn't disheartened from watching that because I said, you know what? It's going to be good for him. It's a learning experience. It's a rookie quarterback. And you take that as a fan, and you if you could look at it from that lens and take the rough shots, then you're okay moving forward.
Oh, look, we have a celebrity in the chat, Nicki Minaj.
Get out of here.
She wants... Sure, that's what it says, Nicki Minaj.
What up, Nick? What up, Nicki?
Nicki Minaj wants to talk about DK Metcalf.
Of course she does.
Yeah, that's what they all want to talk about.
DK Metcalf. What do we know about DK Metcalf? Is a freak.
You know what I know about him? He is a player that scares me. Is he going to be unbelievable? He's either going to be unbelievably just ridiculous beast, or he's going to be miserable.
Yes.
And I don't know which one it is.
Feel about him. No,
and I don't know which one it is at all.
No, here's what the Mississippi, the Ole Miss offense where he played. I wouldn't necessarily say that they used him to the best of his capabilities, right? Like I don't know.
In route selection,
here's the thing about Metcalf. Like when you look at him and you break him down, right, and you look at the production he had at the college level, you look at it and you say, okay, well, he probably did a lot of damage on maybe 2 or 3 different routes consistently, right? They didn't ask him to do a lot. Now, you can look at that 2 ways, right? You can look at it as he couldn't do it. I don't necessarily know that that's the case. Or you could look at it as the potential that can be unlocked with this kid's physical talent, where if you can get him to run those routes and teach him to run those routes and incorporate that into his game, how good would he be? And I think that what you're going to see one of these teams in the top 10 go get his physical talent.
The size you can't teach size, man.
No, and I think he has the ability to learn the different route trees, right? I don't think he's the type of player that you say, oh, he's just this one-dimensional player. I think that maybe in his rookie year, maybe you're going to use him on specific routes and packages, and maybe his packages are going to grow throughout the course of the season, where you'll be able to do more things with him. But
doesn't Gettleman have a quote that quotes something like, big men help you compete or something? Size helps you compete or something?
Yes, he does.
He's a size queen, that Gettleman. Keep an eye out for that one.
He did draft Devin Funches.
He did. I can't like Evan Funches. I told you, he did me dirty in fantasy.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, Gettleman is the guy who drafted, Funches. So again, wouldn't be nothing. It would. I would be shocked if they took DK Metcalf at 6.
No. 17. I can see that.
Oh my God.
I could see it.
I think there's other wide receivers that you can get in this draft that are really good. I like JJ Arcega-Whiteside a lot. Butler,
Chip Marshall said
Butler.
he saw a video on how Calvin Johnson didn't run any different routes. Maybe that's true.
Calvin Johnson.
Send me that video.
I'd like to see that because Calvin Johnson, I remember, being a pretty good football player all around.
Yeah, good football player. If he did it on the same route, sometimes you have your bread and butter.
Well, you also have he had a good connection that one year with Matty Stafford, where they just was like, they just run.
Arm. Just go.
Yeah, just run, just go, and I'll just throw it up,
Isn't Funches about 285 pounds now? I think he might.
Funches is in Indy, and I got news for you. He's a prime fantasy candidate for double-digit touchdowns in that offense.
Getting DK would make the OB trade look a lot worse. Yeah, maybe building your D line.
I don't think you can go in. Yeah, I don't think that they can go into this thinking that they have to replace OBJ. I think you go into it thinking that.
I think that's a mistake if they do that specifically for that.
Yeah, just
if some dude falls to you, that's a different story.
And I got news for you, Marco. This draft is so deep. This is such a good draft. It's got good football players in a bunch of different positions, especially on the defensive side of the ball.
That's what Gentleman says.
Trading back from 6 may be the best bet.
He keeps on saying it's such a defensive-heavy draft, and then what does he do? He doesn't trade Landon Collins to get an extra third-round pick, but he prays for a comp pick to come in a maybe not-so-heavy defensive draft.
Yeah, imagine how this draft looks if we don't use the comp pick for Sam Beal, and we trade Landon Collins for an extra third or fourth round.
Oh, and then we have 3 third-round picks.
We have 14 picks in the draft. 14 picks in the draft right now.
Yeah, maybe
to go up, down, sideways.
Yeah, maybe the Beal pick works out. Maybe he is a player. We don't know.
I don't think he's going to be able to stay healthy. Like Beal's health concerns me. Like that shoulder issue. Like I don't know that he's going to be able to maintain. I had concerns about him last year, and he got banged up. He was on the field for 4 seconds.
He took my college route. You only take 12 credits. Don't take anything more than that.
Yeah.
Who cares when you graduate?
Seriously. Yeah. He took my college route. He waited for his parents to leave the fucking campus, and he went and he changed all his classes to like bowling and volleyball.
Did pretty good.
I had a great semester.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. All right, let's see. What else? I think that's about it.
What time is it?
It is 11. About an hour.
We'll wrap it up. What are we gonna? We talked quarterbacks. We talked defensive players. We talked. I went back and forth with Mr. Mark Collins. So when we met him at the LT football party, and then
did he remember or not?
He did. I sent him a message on Facebook shortly after, and I never heard back from him. I forgot that I even sent him a message on Facebook, and then you know how when you get a message on Messenger, like it pops up, like the little circle pops up.
Yeah, the notification.
So it popped up yesterday, and it said Mark Collins has waved at you. And I was like, what the fuck? So I clicked on it, and then just as I was clicking on it to see that the little hand, because he waved, it said he replied, "Hey James, I just saw this. Sorry for the delay." And then we talked for a little bit, and he was gung-ho to come on the show. We didn't really settle on a date, And then I sent him a message today, and it doesn't look like he's even seen it yet. So the next time I touch base with him, I'm going to lock him in for the next show, and we'll have Mark Collins on the podcast.
Wait, I am going on vacation, so I don't think it's this week. Next week, there will be a little break on the show for everyone.
A little spring break.
A little break.
Oh
yeah.
wow! Well, if Rosen gets traded, I'm gonna have to set it up. We're gonna have to do something.
Figure something out, yeah.
We're gonna have to figure something out. Get somebody on standby or something. Too funny. All right. Well,
living like. I'll call into the GM's office and be like, "Listen, no deals until I get back."
Yeah, so I'm going on vacation. If we could just put everything on hold until I get back, I would really appreciate it.
Are you guys going to be live during the draft? Yes. Yes, we will be live during the draft.
We will be live during the draft. We usually will give you the show on Wednesday night, as usual, pre-draft. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement, and then we will be live on draft night, where you will hear us have a nervous breakdown live on air.
We've done how many? We've done 3 live, 4, 3.
This is going to be
3. This would be the third, maybe.
This is going to be the third one that we've done live. This would be number 3. So good times. Good times. Because the first one was Evan Ingram. You broke that. And then we were Saquon.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the Leo DiCaprio party.
There was the Leonardo DiCaprio party you were at while we were working. You were hanging out with Leo. Breaking news. Yeah. And then Barkley last year, and now here we go. Here we go this year. So we will be live. It'll be fun. We'll bring you live reaction, and we can all flip out together. And we got 2 picks. So. We'll hopefully be able to be on for both of them, but we'll see how it goes.
So now, if we use Discord, we could do the whole thing. We just have to get that humming correctly.
We just won't be able to take calls, but so be it. So be it. But yeah, I think it would be wise to stay on for 6 and 17. And even if we're not taking calls on draft night, to bring
the chat's open.
Live.
People could always,
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. So we'll work it out, but we'll be with you live. Don't fret. You won't have to listen to Mel Kiper.
Yeah. So Stan Jones. Yeah, let's get some beers. We'll do a few shots live on air, and double the anxiety. Yes. And
yes.
That's pretty much that. I'm gonna go back and listen to the I remember. Yeah, he was so pissed when they took Saquon. Oh my God.
I was furious. Absolutely furious. Blew a gasket.
Yeah.
Well,
we're still there now.
Hey, nothing's really changed.
No, still need a quarterback. Still not going to take one, or they're going to take Daniel Jones, and we're all going to go crazy.
Oh, God.
Are there any Daniel Jones fans out there in this chat?
No, I think they're all in Duke.
So we could all talk shit to each other. Yeah, that's what we did.
Fuck.
The media has poisoned our minds.
Well,
oh,
what?
My God.
About what?
That's what Dave Gettleman says.
The media has poisoned our minds. I have eyes, Dave.
Dave.
I have eyes, David.
All right, everyone. Let's see. If you're new here, please throw a like on this video and subscribe. We will talk to you next week. Next week I am going to be here, I'm pretty sure. Damn, Daniel.
There we go. And if anything pops off, we'll be around.
Yeah, we'll do something.
Bleedbigblue Giant fans.
All right, Captain.
Always.
Talk to you later.
Marco. CEO is out.